greatest show ever made.
Yeah, welcome back to episode 3 of 10 Kids No Sweat podcast, YouTube, everything. And it's good to have you here. And anybody who watched us on YouTube last week, it was good to have you. But we pretty much think we forgot to upload episode 2 to the internet.
Oh, to Spotify, the sound version, the non-video-ness.
But that's all right. We will get our social media. We'll do it.
So, the week gone. How's your week been, Catherine?
Thank you for asking, Ben.
You're welcome.
I appreciate having this time with you today. When I was originally thinking about this, I couldn't remember the whole week that it happened.
Well,
So I dredged up a few things, which was we were just continuing to live our regular, wonderful life. We, shockingly, being in the Yarra Valley, suffered from yet another storm.
Shocking.
Which was really great. It's really great to have your internet just get knocked out.
That's the first thing to go.
Yeah.
The internet. And then your roof blows off. But it's always the internet first.
And I did preemptively, well, not really. What did you say? I wasn't listening. I was spending too much time thinking about what I wanted to say. I was going to say I preemptively bundled up, protected the Little Free Library.
Oh, right, yeah.
But I didn't. I basically looked out and gasped and ran out and tied it up. But everything was good, rock solid. This was our first real test since the fiasco of the roof ripping off the Little Free Library had happened.
Since my upgrading it, basically more screws were added at crucial junction points.
With lots of prayers in between each buzz of the saw.
The original design was lacking.
It's like everything in our life. We just get bigger and better. Bigger family size, better people. Yeah?
Absolutely. Yes. I agree. I concur.
And I'd say, I don't really know why, but I've been tired this week. I've been pretty worn out.
I would say the highlight of this week has been the laundry lizard.
Oh.
Wouldn't you say that's a highlight of our week?
What?
We had a blue-tongue lizard, aka dinosaur, in the laundry.
Oh my goodness, guys. Seriously, I asked one of my daughters to film me because I'm like,
Who discovered it?
I think
was it Grace?
Ashley was going to do the washing.
Wow. Did she freak?
She said, I think I saw something going into the laundry. And I'm like, whoa. So I'm like, I can do this. I'm a YouTuber now. I can be brave. I can do it. Went to have a look. And then screamed my head off at sudden movements. Do we have a friend in here?
Why are you...
Did it come out? No! What if it checks out? It's a blue tongue.
It is? Should I try and lure it out with some food or something?
It was the hissing. Now, let's get one thing straight. People who don't live in countries that have blue tongue lizards, where even do they live?
Dry areas.
No.
But we're not dry.
Well, anyhow, we have blue tongue lizards where we live, and they're really good. They are good for your garden. They keep bugs, spiders, snails, whatever else at bay. They're good for the garden. But they're not good in laundry situations.
Yeah, but when I see a blue tongue's tail, I think snake.
Yeah, just
Straight away. If you don't see legs, snake.
You gotta look for the
There's
legs.
There's a snake.
What shocked me though was like when I told people about it, they're like, "Oh, so cute, so cute," and then the thing was hissing, at me so crazy. Anyhow, the wonderful people from the Wildlife Warriors, volunteers, someone came and she grabbed him in 1 millisecond. Oh, he's so cute. I don't think she kissed him, but she said he was really cute. And then because this is supposedly his area, we just released him into the garden.
Our garden?
Yeah.
Why don't you drive it down the road a bit?
Because this is its habitat.
It's our habitat.
Well, it's... Anyhow,
It's just going to go straight back.
if it's going to come back to the laundry again, it's going to do some work in there. Because I'm not going to have no freeloaders in my house.
If it ain't paying rent.
But I don't know. I wonder if I was still residual nerves from the spider and the kangaroo. That's like this lizard that's no real threat to me. I actually freaked out over.
Australians are known for their wildlife, aren't we?
Yes.
Are you listening to or not listening to me again?
Well, I heard what you said, but then I'm picturing all my friends overseas going, yeah, they always say you have all the scary things. You got snakes everywhere in your beehive hairstyles. You got, what am I talking about? You got spiders.
Speaking of beehives.
Yes. Yes. Oh, well, I haven't done. Oh, did I?
What?
What do you want to talk about the beehive?
What? I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Beehive is going well. They haven't swarmed. I mean, that would be the baddest news that we could have. I'm supposed to do my first completely solo hive inspection this week, but the weather is you gotta wait until it's sunny and nice and all the rest of it. So preemptively, I'm freaking out over that.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, because I'm doing nothing, I feel great. Yeah?
You don't want to talk about it, do you?
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, the mishap.
Yeah.
Did we already mention that? I thought we'd already spoken about that.
Oh, what, in the last episode?
Maybe.
We'll talk about it again.
Did I tell you guys this? Okay, I'll just tell the story again. If you're a first-time listener, welcome.
Repeating stories already.
And so basically, we got the beehive.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did other stuff. I'll just link all of my beehive videos to it. And then I started noticing people talking in the neighborhood, different people saying, my bees have died. And I'm like, what? This is Yarra Valley, so I'm kind of like, what is going on? And one lady had said that her bees were poisoned. And I'm like, this is strange. So I contacted my friend, and he said a lot of bees have actually been starving because we've had so much rain and terribleness. So just make up a bag of sugar syrup and pop it in the hive.
You're going the long way.
So I went to do that. I'm building it up. What do you mean, long way? Okay, guys, I lifted the lid, not knowing the bees had built comb inside.
On the lid.
On the lid going down.
Attached to the bits.
Attached to the frames.
The frames.
And it was huge comb. And this was my own fault because I had meant or needed to buy extra frames and I hadn't. So there was like a vacant space where they happily filled it in. And then in my panic,
she ripped the lid off. Taking with it a bunch of frames, bees flying everywhere.
Oh, mate.
It was a disaster.
Well, I've learned now. First step, smoker. You always need the smoker and actually use it. 2, lift the lid with the hive tool very carefully.
Crack it. You gotta crack.
You gotta crack and look to see what's going on. I just kind of went. And because I've said this many times, I want to be a good beekeeper and I love the bees. The fact that I freaked out and put the lid straight down and killed bees. Oh my goodness. But
poor little suckers.
I've dramatically improved. Probably because I actually have had Wayne, the wonderful Wayne, who's so patient with me, come over and show me many things. I believe because he got a mentor. And I think having a mentor, he learned a lot of things. So what did I do? I've hired his mentor. So Ashton has come.
Right, that guy, yep.
Ashton
Gotcha.
has come and taught me many things, and actually getting me to do it probably made me learn far quicker than just observing. So, man, I was really pumped, but
Lizards,
I guess
bees, you name it.
the more days that go on that I haven't done the hive, the more I'm probably going to freak out. Oh, and
They'll be fine. They build stuff. That's what they do.
I think this is a good opportunity to mention that your new philosophy in life. I was expressing to Ben how I was afraid of different things. And he said, it's not fear, Catherine. It's excitement.
I watched a thing, I heard a thing, whatever it was. This guy was saying that feeling, that buzz you get inside you. Certain people interpret it as fear, like falling out of an aeroplane. That's scary. And other people translate it as that's exciting.
I have jumped out of an airplane, and that was exciting, and I wasn't afraid. But
Well, there you go. Whenever you're afraid, you're actually just mistranslating the feelings in your body. You're actually excited.
so I'm still baking this thought pie in my brain to decide whether or not this is a good theory. But listen,
It's the internet.
I'm just words of affirmation. Just tell me nice things about me, and I'll be okay. That's all you have to do.
You have beautiful eyes.
Do I?
Mhm.
Really?
Mhm.
But they're brown.
You see?
Thank you. I accept your compliment with grace and love.
So we have to talk about social media and the question we put on the 10 Kids No Sweat Facebook group. First question ever. We got some good response.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do differently if you had your time over again? Or something like that.
Yeah. If you could go back, like, to the younger you, is there anything that you'd change?
So, what would you change?
I'm glad you asked, Ben. I have just completed the first draft of my 395 chapter book of things I would change. There's so many things that I would change. Depends how far back you want to go. I think probably
I would buy a house sooner. Way sooner.
I won't say mine now.
Why? Well, that's like my main thing. I would buy a house sooner.
Yeah,
Sooner than what I did.
okay, we'll go on that tangent before we hit the emotional stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I would go expand from that to say I'd be far wiser with my money. And I wish like 18-year-old me would have realized the benefit of learning about finances, learning how to do tax returns, learning about superannuation, all this stuff.
Yep.
Because you think about it, you get a job when you're a teenager and your boss just gives you paperwork, you give it to like your parent and they kind of fumble their way through it. You sign up and you never think about it again.
Yeah, no.
And those are the undervalued skills.
And they don't teach you that in school.
Absolutely not.
Unless you actually do a course in business or whatever.
And so we've had to become very proactive. We've sort of learned it all on our own.
And we're trying to teach our kids now. Like, how to deal with your money, what's important really in life. And all the crap that you think about buying when you're young is not important. It really isn't.
And thank goodness I really love secondhand.
Me too. I've never bought a new car. Thank you very much.
But I guess just the sheer volume of stuff that's on the earth has really made me think I could probably get that secondhand. Or I could possibly borrow it. Like if you only need something for a short amount of time.
Why encourage big business to make more crap? To dig up more resources?
So, okay, that would be my big one, I guess, with the secondhand one. If I could go back to... Lights. Nope. Camera. Action. Will they still see my beautiful face?
Yeah, but not mine. You've
that's
still got
okay.
a light.
You're still there. We'll just continue.
Mm-hmm.
Probably I'd go back to when we first started having children,
Mm-hmm.
and I would not have as much junk in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't accept it.
I think that came up on Facebook. Oh, no. What was the one on Facebook about kids?
Don't interrupt me.
I'm sorry, keep
I'm not
talking.
finished.
I'll think.
I still love you.
Mm-hmm.
I've spoken about this before. People know, but you can very quickly become overwhelmed with the sheer volume of stuff. We live very privileged lives. If you're able to declutter large amounts of stuff, if you actually have that ability, you're very privileged. That's a privileged position to be in. But the stress from clutter, obligation, emotional, visual clutter, the whole bit, could have been way less if I was more mindful about what I accepted or what I brought in.
I think humans in general have a tendency to hoard. I guess that comes with... most of our history is struggling for food, really, and struggling for life. So we still have that in us.
So
To
another...
collect.
From our lovely friends who did comment, one of them did say that she thought probably would have been a better idea to get a pet when she had her first child. So now she has a ton of kids and she's thinking about bringing a pet in, and it's like, oh, little toddlers, little kids. And I said, we wouldn't have even got dogs.
Well,
Because we had the intention to buy one dog.
Well, what's the benefit of having a pet
For most
with
people,
kids?
well, they say responsibility.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
Teaching your kid to look after something.
our kids are quite responsible, but we bought the dog. See, we only wanted one dog. We bought two dogs because we felt sorry for a dog that was there.
Yeah.
And I was pregnant, heavily pregnant with my fourth child in as many years. So looking back now, I'm like, too much.
It is a lot of work. It's a lot of pain.
And I've never had
It's
really...
a lot of pain.
Well, I've never really had any outside help from anybody. So here you got me, which is, this is the main subject of all this talking, which we've done for 18 minutes. I've largely been kind of on my own this whole parenting time. So Ben's always worked shift work. And little kid, lots of kids, little kids, a pet, and more pets, burdensome pets.
Well, we should move on to that. Me going to shift work. Because when we first got together, when we first got married and first had Ethan, I was working at a glass factory, which was a day job.
Like 7 till 3.
Yeah.
Close to home.
And then when we had Ethan about 7 weeks in, I started working a rotating shift job, which was 7 till 3, 3 till 11, 11 till 7. So full 24 hours rotating between the shifts.
And not the good rotating. It was 1 week of days, but he
1
only
week
had the
of nights.
6-hour shift on the Friday, so quick shift, which seems great on day shift because you're home by 1:30. But the very next week he went into night shift, and then he did afternoon shift. It really is madness that it isn't days, afternoons, nights. You like work your way up.
Yeah, but then you go from night to day.
I suppose, you know.
After doing a full week of night shift, you can't sleep.
And you've always had a pretty good attitude about working. When you go to work, you work hard, do your best that you can do. You never stress or rush or worry.
No.
But it became a worry. More and more years of working, the sleep, quality of sleep.
Well, going there, when I first started there, I was pretty young. What would it have been? 20...
24?
28?
No.
28, 29?
24.
24?
I think so.
24?
No.
29. 25? Let's settle on 25. I'm glad you agree.
Always.
I was listening to all these old guys at that job, sooking and crying about the rotating shift, and I'm sitting there, a young bloke, going, "It's not that bad.
Suck it up."
What are you doing?"
Mm.
But after about 10 years, you start to feel it.
Mm. And me as well. Like, we've basically grown up together.
Mm-hmm.
We're the same age. I'm much younger, but we're the same age. In the beginning, I would go out and we'd go to the park for like the whole morning until nap time. And all the kids are little, they'd nap at the same time because, as we mentioned last week's episode, the good routine meant that we did have the kids napping at the same time and sleeping at regular times. Mm-hmm. And we do different things. We go to the library or window shop or food shop together, and I was the hero.
Did everything.
I was the hero. But I will say, looking back, my stress levels were very, very high. Very high. I wasn't coping well because it was largely on my own.
Do you blame that on the rotating shift, though?
I probably blame it on lack of help and the shift work.
Mm-hmm.
And my own, like, what do they call it? Like the martyrdom thing that a lot of women can do. So I devalued my role. Like, I never thought that the success of Ben working had anything to do with the success of me running the home.
Mm.
So it was always like, we have to be quiet, Daddy's sleeping. Be quiet, you have to be quiet. That by Friday I was like buzzing. Like, I was so stressed at trying to be quiet. I didn't give myself any grace. And I think when the kids were younger, I really was just like, be quiet. Just so stressed. Mm-hmm. And thank goodness I've grown up. Thank goodness I've realized that 99% of the things we worry about are not worth it. What do kids want? They want loving parents.
Yeah. And well-rested parents, like we said last episode.
They want people to be nice to them. That's what they want.
Yeah.
So how could I really be nice to them during a night shift if I wasn't being nice to myself? So it's a huge chill pill.
What about you as a wife, not just a mother? You missed me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm a huge fan of Ben. Still, after nearly 18 years of marriage, I will still follow him around the house, and I just want to hang around with him. Or I'll be really tired and wanting to go to bed and have to literally force myself if he's still up. If he was on a night shift, I'd be like hugging his pillow. So not having much adult interaction was quite the challenge. And like, we've got older kids now. Like, we've got a 16-year-old, 15-year-old, and nearly a 14-year-old. Even the 12-year-old. Like, you can talk to them like adults. But
now.
Yeah, but
back then.
They're still my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Even now.
Well, yeah.
So those first few years, I think it was just head down and survive. Of course, I'm looking retrospectively at everything. I used to not only did I get everything done, but when the kids were younger, I did literally everything.
Yeah.
And I think what saved us was I have taught the kids what to do.
From a very early age.
Very early age, teaching them how to pack away their own things. Every day we pack away together. We're all working for the common goal of things being packed away.
I remember little Ethan doing the dishwasher when we had one in Chernside. Remember
that? Wow. Sitting on the door.
Mm-hmm.
But I look back on every stage of marriage and parenting
fondly.
Yeah.
You don't look back with misery. I mean, well, at least we don't.
We might have had maybe one or two weeks
Yeah.
out of all these years where we really were not thinking like I want to chuck you out and get a new husband, but like, you know, it's two people. You've become one because you're married, but you still have your own minds and your own ideas about things. And
but connecting with the Facebook question a little bit, there's things that we've done in the past that we regret. Of course, that's part of being human. But a lot, by God's grace, a lot of things that we haven't done. Like, we haven't gotten in huge debt. And we've known a lot of people that have. We haven't bought expensive cars on debt. We haven't done that.
We have paid more than the minimum.
We've never had credit cards where we're just blowing it on new furniture and TVs and stuff. All those things we've seen as a bonus and that we should save for or, you know, have a genuine plan about. It's not... That's the icing on the cake, and we don't necessarily need the biggest TV to watch Netflix on.
And I do find it funny.
Even though I'm a techie guy, I love stereos, I love TVs, I love it all.
And we have bought new stuff.
And we've got some good stuff. We've got a pumping stereo.
But it's funny, I have laughed over the years when different people have come over and gone, oh, big TV. And I'm thinking, dudes, Marketplace. Like, honestly, seriously, Marketplace is the place to be. Which reminds me, I'm selling stuff on Marketplace, so come and buy it, thanks. Contact my agent and we'll get you hooked up. But yeah, shift work.
Well, I was going to add that some people do get debt to the hilt, and that is just a stress that we haven't had, that we don't add to our stress levels. And although we can look back on our lives, and it's been pretty cruisy. Like, has it been bad at all? There's always been moments yelling at each other, having a hard day with the kids, but like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Except for night shift.
No. It's funny, like, actually sitting down and talking to you about it actually makes me feel really grateful. Like, really grateful that I naturally like thrifting and op shopping, and I naturally like being frugal and reusing things. I like that, and I'm so privileged that whilst I haven't been forced into it, we have a huge family. So I suppose if I was very silver spoon, desiring, wanting, desperate for material items, it'd be stressful. It'd be a point of stress because, you know, I do remember probably 3 occasions when the kids were quite young that personal items of mine were broken. And I felt this rage inside of me.
I remember this.
And now I've changed my thinking.
Well,
because my expectation was, this is mine and no one's going to wreck it. I had an unrealistic expectation. I never factored in accidents.
We had a saying early on, I remember.
Ben had a saying.
I think I said something like, stuff's going to get wrecked. Like, that's just what having kids is. This is when we have, like, 2 kids.
Ben's like,
1 kid.
Write everything off.
Right, that's it. That was it, yes. Write everything off. Like, everything, don't make anything precious.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to get wrecked.
And I came from a family with just 2 brothers, and I grew up expecting everything to stay perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe things went to the dogs. You were one of 5 kids. I don't know.
You've still had precious things. Like, your MacBook's been quite precious.
Yeah. My phone.
Yeah.
And now,
well, they're expensive things. I mean,
Yeah.
you're always going to be a bit about that.
But other things as well. Like, 2 sentimental dishes were broken.
Oh, yes.
And I think it was during a night shift. So during night shift, what I'd often do is set up tea parties for the little kids. Looking back, I'm like,
With those dishes.
yeah, with all the dishes.
It's not the kid's fault.
Quiet tea parties.
It's not the kid's fault.
Left the room for 1 minute to go to the toilet and then heard a big crash, screaming and yelling. Ethan had been jumping on the couch and he fell. He hit his head on the side of the coffee table and smashed the dish.
It's not his fault.
Poor Ethan. I feel like going upstairs right now. And
Did you scream? Was it craziness?
Yeah, it was crazy. But it was like the whispered crazy because I had the unrealistic, we have to be quiet on night shift. We can't make any noise at all. And you know what?
That's my fault because I had, on occasion, come out of the room and yelled,
Shut these kids up.
"Shut these kids up. What are you doing?"
After your wonderful speech of, Catherine, kids make noise.
They do. And if I get up, out of a bleary sleep, all angry, that's nobody's fault. That's me.
Whereas I'd take it personally.
Hmm.
So I think in a lot of ways we've grown up together, and we've also always, I think, had the common idea, like, I want you to have your best life you can have.
Mm-hmm.
And you want me to have my best life I can have.
Mm-hmm.
So me saying to you, Ben, that's unreasonable, you may initially receive it like,
What the hell?
you're not bossing me. But every time you have corrected me, every time you've said, Catherine, leave the house. You're too stressed. You need a break from the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I do leave there going, how dare you? Like the injustice of it. But you've done that because you love me and because you want me to have a happy life.
Yes.
And you don't want me to wreck the kids and
Well,
yourself.
it's fundamentally because, I love you, but it's also, the kids. They need a in-control mother.
And I think...
And father.
I think really early on, Ben...
But most dads naturally get a lot of time away.
Yeah.
Because they're generally going to be at work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like my chill time. I'm with the boys, muck around.
You recognize this as a common thing
Mums
amongst
don't
women.
get that.
Yeah, you were noticing a lot of women that were really frazzled and overwhelmed, and you kind of put two and two together and went, hang on a second, I'm leaving. That's my break.
Yeah.
She's never leaving.
Yeah.
I have to make her leave or take the kids away for her to chill out.
That's actually a very important thing.
Yeah. And I think this will probably be another podcast episode.
Yeah, we might have to hold that one.
Not just sending your spouse away,
Mm.
but your spouse having other things to do.
Oh, you
helps
mean like hobbies and
tremendous-
stuff?
Hobbies and stuff. Which can
And
be another episode, but,
Cafes to visit, friends to catch
And
up with.
literally years and years and years and years and years and years of being isolated probably made me quite introverted.
Oh, yes.
And I
Yeah.
couldn't just snap my fingers, leave the house on Friday and hook up with a girlfriend because I wasn't seeing no girlfriends.
Didn't have any girlfriends.
No.
Yeah.
Just very isolated, very challenging.
Well, that's the modern culture, isn't it? We're kind of all isolated. We don't really know our neighbours, things like that.
But my philosophy is just be nice to everyone. Just be kind to everyone. So that's why when I go food shopping, I'm like at the deli going, how's your week been? I'm not just saying it to say it. I mean it. Because if lockdown taught me anything, it was no material item really matters that much.
Well, if you take away all the human stuff, the stuff that we've invented, the stuff that we've created, the systems we've put together, if you take all of that away, it's just us humans on a ball to take care of the ball and each other.
Absolutely.
That's all life is. Everything else is secondary. Like a car, that's secondary. A house, that's secondary. The primary goal here is to look after each other. That's what we're here for.
Yep.
Each other.
Yep.
And that happens in a family, in a community, in a country. We are all here for each other.
And we have challenges in life that sometimes make it hard to be there for each other. Like, sorry, my husband's on night shift. I can't come. Or I don't have a babysitter, so I can't babysit your kids. So different people, we're different for a reason. There's some people who do have an available schedule so they can physically use their own body to do stuff. There's other people that are more better at a listening role to hear their friends' problems and help them nut out stuff, or an encourager to say, you can do it, I'm here with you, we're all fighting together. But just trying to be a decent person no matter where you go. Greet people, look at them in the eyes, treat them like a real person, treat them like somebody that you want to be friends with, because
and inside that sack of bones and flesh is a person.
Yeah.
Just like you. A real, live person.
Yeah.
We all are. And each baby that we get is another person. Another person that potentially will leave us and live their own life and be still living when we're gone.
And we want to do a good job.
So don't make jerks.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, we want to do a good job raising these people to be kind to others, to be tolerant, but still hold their own views, to be critical thinkers, to know how to do their taxes.
No sweat.
No sweat, baby. So every day I'm taking that chill pill.
Was that a cigarette?
That's my pill. Every day I'm
It
taking
was a
my...
doobie.
I don't know what doobie is.
Wacky.
Tobacco. But yeah, every day making deliberate choices, like, you know, Ben's going on about this. It's just a bowl that we all live on, but we only get one shot. Like, wasting it, fretting, worrying, you know, and that's why.
Well, that's what the things of men.
Yeah.
It's secondary. Anything humans have made up, the stock market, cities, roads, secondary. It's all crap that we can live without and have lived without.
So I think I need to end with this small speech. And I'm going out on a
shut up.
limb. I haven't even discussed this with you.
Uh-oh. Is it G-rated?
Absolutely. So if you are watching or listening, or you're not reading it because I ain't typing this up. Christmas is coming. Traditionally, Christmas has been my least favorite holiday.
No, it hasn't.
Yep. And there's been a lot of stress. But we have had a few Christmases where it was just me, you, and the kids, and those were great. No stress, no rushing, no have-tos, chill.
Sweat.
No sweat. So I want to close by encouraging people out there. If Christmas is coming and you're starting to feel these big emotions, it's like...
Stress.
Let's think about this. It's going to be okay. First and foremost, we have done no Christmas shopping at all.
Yet.
Oh, I've done some.
Oh, right, okay.
But...
all of our grown-up kids... Do your speech. This can be another episode.
Yeah. Well, I think we should talk Christmas again next week because...
Let's do it. It's coming up.
We're leading up to it.
Yep.
I have just spoken to my kids. I have honestly said to them, like, we have a lot of stuff. We have a lot of stuff. And I'm like, what's something special that you want to have? Because I don't want to give anybody anymore something just for the sake of it. Just to fill a hole. Like, they said to me they want their mango. I always put a mango in the toe of the stocking. They want to watch the carols.
We do that every year.
That's
the only TV we watch.
And every year we don't plan ahead, and like on the night we realize we don't have the antenna set up or anything.
And we could lose that light any second.
Okay. So, yeah, I'll close with start thinking now. Start thinking now of just the basics. Ask your kids, what do you want? Get ideas from them. I don't know why it has to be this whole secretive thing. I don't know why we add so much pressure to ourselves trying to surprise everyone, because those are like the first things that get donated. Truly.
Everything that isn't being there with the person, you don't need it.
And if you haven't been seeing your relatives or catching up with them or anything, just see them. See them more. Don't scramble around a few days before trying to find something to buy something for somebody that you very rarely see. Just don't even bother.
If you're going to do gift vouchers, just give them money.
Cash is king.
Cash money.
So, and this isn't some secret message for anyone in particular. It's just, I'm thinking out loud. I want to encourage people who are listening and watching to just enjoy this time with your family.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be around forever. Spend the time with each other, encouraging and loving each other. Watch Home Alone.
It's going to be on next year's Hard Rubbish pile anyway. Don't stress about it.
Watch Die Hard.
Not Home Alone. Keep that.
Yeah, keep that.
Watch Die Hard. We should watch Die Hard.
I know.
Like totally tonight.
Tonight?
Yes.
With the kids?
The older ones.
Yippee-ki-yay. So, that's my recommendation. Don't go rushing out to Big W, to Kmart, and kind of just, find the $10 section. What is there? You can buy really good stuff secondhand on Marketplace. So start plugging in things and find what comes up. You might even make a new friend when you go to pick up your item. So.
Oh, the click and collect lady.
No, buying stuff from Marketplace. Buying stuff. You're not even listening, are you?
I'm totally hanging on every word.
I haven't had lunch. I'm very hungry, but so we'll go, and hopefully something that we've said during our little chat today has
rung a bell.
Made you think a bit. But that's all we've got. We will be back next week, and we'll be so much more organized. You won't even know we're here.
And we'll make it a Christmas episode. Let's do it. Decorations, bro.
Outfits?
Yes.
I don't have anything. Yes.
Well, don't wear nothing.
Anyhow, thanks for listening and watching. We appreciate you. If you are watching on YouTube, you're a dead set legend, and we appreciate you subscribing and sharing our videos or our podcast somehow to other people. You got 2 normal people. We happen to have 10 kids.
Yep.
But we don't have to sweat it. We don't have to make a big deal out of stuff. We can just enjoy life, be happy people, and it really can be no sweat.
10 kids, no sweat.
So,
it really isn't that hard.
Ouch. What?
Goodbye, everybody.
We'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
All right, you ready?
How leanish do we need to be?
Not very. You can see it registering. It's not bad. Shall I clap or shall you this time?
2 claps. In front of the mic?
Yeah. Don't joke like that.
Okay, so what did we learn from today's episode?
Put new batteries in the lights every time.
Every time.